Welcome everybody. Welcome back. It's been a while that I sat down. You probably haven't seen this sort of setup for quite some time. I've been just in a bit of a mix between situations, and I'm no longer shooting up in Belfast. I think I said that in the last episode. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but bear with me. Been pulled and stretched around different places. The reason I have the setup here for the single ones is because it's just easier, and I like the background and the setup and stuff. And the reason I do the podcast with guests, so far I've only had Ash and Tony on. In the other setting is because I can sit down and be comfortable, and we talk for quite some time. It wouldn't be very comfortable for me to sit here and talk to someone for the guts of over an hour anyway. It would be a bit weird, and it's in my room, and I don't know how I feel about it all. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I haven't been doing these, and it has been in my head to do, but I just really wanted to get the guest side moving it. But I enjoy sitting down here and doing my once a week sort of run through about what's been going on with me, what's been happening and stuff like that. So if you do enjoy that, subscribe, let me know, and keep me going, because sometimes when you're not getting a whole lot of feedback, you can be a bit in your head being like, oh, is there any point doing this? So any words, anything at all that's said is greatly appreciated, and just know it's not being overlooked. Like, I dearly do appreciate it. But yeah, still trying to get more guests on. It's just difficult with the situation the world is in, the end of the world that we have, and people being a bit cautious coming around the house and whatnot. And yeah, it's a weird, messy, strange time, and I don't like to do it online, like via Zoom or something, because it's a weird feel to me. It's not something that I like. I really like the feel of sitting down, having an actual face-to-face conversation with someone, and it gives people watching that feeling that there actually is still normal stuff in the world. Because if I have to look at another Zoom call, oh, dear help me, Lord. Dear help me. But yeah, we'll get stuck into it this week. I have a couple of stuff written down from what I've been doing over the last few while, so we'll take a look at that. I was traveling actually, yeah. So this time last week, I was out camping in the wilderness on the beautiful Ackett Island. Me and my girlfriend went. And when I mean camping, I mean no campsite, no nothing. Take a tent, take the car, and that's you set up. Like, we're lucky that we have a good enough setup, and we have a few bits. Like, there's nothing luxurious. I might throw up a picture here, see what you think of the setup and stuff. I haven't, oh well. But yeah, so we got set up. We set up on one of the, basically it was like a cliff by the beach, and just worked away. Just camped, cooked all our own food for 2 nights. Did a bit of fishing, didn't catch anything. And yeah, went for swims. We're so lucky. The weather was absolutely amazing. Like, it's starting to get cold now, but it was unreal. It was starting to get dark around 8 o'clock. That was the only thing. But handyman, wilderness fella, had his camp head on, and we lit fires and stuff like that there. So yeah, it was really good. Of course, when I mean light fires, I mean take fire lighters and sticks and buy all the stuff. I'm by no means setting up a wildfire with flint and steel or whatever the hell people use. Like, give me the easiest option possible. I actually had fire logs. You literally just light it. Excuse me. You literally light it, and it just stays lit for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, bit of a cheat there. But yeah, so went camping. Couldn't recommend it highly enough. Ackle was absolutely fantastic. So we did 2 nights there. Did plenty. The only thing was the bars were closed, so you couldn't really get drinks. But when you're in a tent, you just bring and carry out and sort of drink. Which actually reminds me, on the first night we were there, so you're in the wilderness. You're not really that secure, shall we say. There was other campers around, but they were a wee bit away from us. And we went to bed, and I was asleep, and next thing you hear rustling outside, and Ashton sort of like bumped into me and gave me like a there's something out there sort of hit. I was just like, oh no, because as I've said before, I'm not the most manliest man in the world. Like, I'm terrified of everything, but when you're with girls or you're with people that you feel like you should be protecting, you sort of do have to step up to the mark. So it's like, oh, I don't want to go out here, because what am I going to do? Like, this is not ideal. But anyway, I plugged up the courage and opened up, and what happened was Fox was outside our tent and had ripped off. We had a bin bag attached to our tent, basically, like zipped, like tied, closed with all the tins in it that we were drinking and a wee bit of like leftover food and the barbecue and stuff. And it had ripped it open, scattered everything everywhere. I went out with my phone and was just like looking around in the pitch black. You can't see anything. I was just a fox sitting there staring at me from about here to as far as I can reach, basically just staring at me. I was like, what the hell? So then I was like, right, it's just a fox, that's fine. Went back to sleep, woke up the next morning, and you could literally hear people going past the tent being like, that's a disgrace. Look at that. Look at all that rubbish they've left lying there. Little did they know, a fox had actually attacked us in the middle of the night and had ripped open everything, scattered it ever. So I got up at about 7:30 in the morning and started trying to pick things up and put them in bags and get all the rubbish tidied away. Thankfully got it all, and then realised the fox had actually stole one of the blankets that we had from within inside the tent and took it down towards, like, I think it's a den they live in, and left it sitting out there as well. So yeah, got attacked. Well, not attacked, but we got ransacked. No, I don't know. We got robbed by a fox, shall we say? And yeah, so apart from that, everything else is pretty safe and smooth. And then we moved across to Westport because we were looking for pubs. It was about an hour's drive away. It wasn't too bad, and we just booked a B&B. It was cheap, and we were getting smelly, so we had to book a B&B. Got a B&B, went out for a few drinks. Westport, absolutely brilliant spot. I could only imagine what it's like whenever the world isn't ending. You just keep referring to it as that. And yeah, that was basically it. Did 3 nights total and then came back to glorious, beautiful, delightful Newry. And that's the end of the summer. Definitely the end of summer now, because we're waking up and going to work, and it is Baltic outside, absolutely freezing. So that's definitely the end of the summer, and we're getting into cold winter. As you probably know, I've probably said this a million times, I'm actually a big fan of winter, so shouldn't bother me too much. I don't mind the cold. It gives me good reasons to put on hoodies. I live in hoodies anyway, even though it's sunny outside today. It's just, I like having my arms covered. I don't know. But yeah, apart from that, I've actually got into, over the last couple of weeks, probably since I've stopped doing these, cycling. So when I moved out of my Belfast house, I had an old bike laying there. It's literally so old, like the gears on it are like on like the metal frame of it all. It's really super old, but it does a job. I've been going out for cycles and really enjoying it. I've just decided I'm not a runner. There's not one thing I enjoy about running. I just feel slow, I feel heavy, I feel clunky. Like, I just don't enjoy running in the slightest. But on the bike, at least when you stop to take a break, you're still moving, you're still on the bike, you know, if you stop pedaling. So yeah, I've been out on the bike, trying my best not to join Brennan Shop's Thick Boy Bike Club. If any of you are a fan of Fighter and the Kid of Brennan, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the bike is a real interesting one because it's so old, and I would love to see what I look like on it, because I definitely look like complete and utter tube. But yeah, so apart from that, was basically what I've been getting up to. I have a couple of topics written down here, and I'm trying to think what's the best format to do it. I'm thinking of starting a new show, and what I want to do is I want to make it into like a sort of news, current events, what's going on, weekly basis sort of show. So instead of me doing this podcast and talking about what's been going on, I sort of want to keep the podcast as like a guest thing, and me coming on every now and then and doing a wee solo show and just talking and giving my more of a sit down thing. Whereas this new show that I'm trying to think of doing is going to be more so like, I don't want to say it's like anything else, because then I'm just going to be told that I'm knocking something else off, but it's more so like current events and what's happening, give my take on things, like we short synopsis, so like on politics, on sports, on entertainment, on like COVID on a weekly basis, like what I think of the certain situations and whatnot, and make it real short and snappy. So it wouldn't be 10 minutes of me rambling like how I am now. It would more so be short, punchy show type thing, and it would probably be in around 10 minutes or so. I don't know how long it'll be, but it would be real short and snappy, and I think it would be a really good format for me to get, you know, points across and what I think is going on, and keeping people up to date with what's going on in the world, because I feel like all the opinions that we're getting on these big events are from news people, just older people, really. There's no one that's young that gives their opinion on things. No, let me rephrase that. There's not really anyone that's young and bringing people news with an unbiased twist to it. So if I brought my opinion through, it would be, you know, relevant to a lot of people and students. Like, for example, a student bringing the news of the Holy Land situation and people getting COVID, like, there's going to be a biased twist on it, but from the student point of view. But all we get from the other side is the biased point of view from adults and elderly people, which it doesn't give students an ounce of credit. For example, no one's questioned what the universities have done to help people, to help students. Like, the universities have to take massive responsibility for outbreaking cases within the Holy Lands and stuff like that, and not having students under control. Like, these things that should be brought up and talked about, but obviously in a lighthearted, sort of entertainment-y, jokey sort of manner that I like to do. But yeah, so let me know what you think of that. This is actually flew 10 minutes, oh my god. And yeah, so this is just going to be first wee episode back to get people sort of explained and updated on what I'm doing, what I'm at. It's sort of just a wee update information episode. Still doing SMAC Talk with guests. Obviously, I'll sit down every now and then and do one of these solo ones because people do seem to enjoy them. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. If there's anything else, let me know. If there's any ideas for me you want me to react to or stuff like that, do not hesitate. Still pulling my hair out about comedy and stand-up. Like, I just cannot believe how terrible I timed that. Because like, yeah, I'm gonna start doing this now. Oh wait, no, World's End, you can't do anything. Can't do events or stand up or be in a bar or I don't know. But yeah, that is gonna do it. I'm rambling on here. Thanks so much everybody for listening. I really appreciate everyone that's followed and supported so far. Like the podcast with Tony did so well, so thank you to everyone that watched that. And yeah, that's all. I'll see you all again, guys, next week. Hopefully at the same time. Be there. See you then. Goodbye.